என்ன பண்ணுறேன்னு இவனுக்கே தெரியாதுடா. இதெல்லாம் நோண்டி விட்டுட்டு போயிடுவான்டா. எப்படி மாத்துறதுன்னு சொல்லிட்டு போக மாட்டான்டா. சரி போடா மயிறு. இல்லை யூடியூப் லைவே போல அதுக்காட்டி இது கேட்கும்.
எல்லாம் ஒரு கதை கதைபாவா இந்த வந்துட்டு சின்ன கதைபாவா. அப்போ 400 ரூபா கொடுங்க. கையை விட்ற மாதிரி எதுக்குடா
Singapore. It's been a long 2 years, but we are back. I'm your host, Victoria Chang, and I'm here at the Sands Expo and Convention Center at Marina Bay Sands. And I'm excited to bring you the action from the finals of the World Series, supported by the Singapore Tourism Board. Now, the World Series is dedicated to the fans and followers of Free Fire esports around the world. You spoke, and we listened. And it was your passion that inspired us to bring you the games today and bring together all the best teams from around the world to compete for the top prize. We did face a lot of hurdles to make today happen, but standing here now has made it all worth it. Hundreds of teams competed in the pro leagues all around the world, and we are now down to the final 12 teams from 11 regions. They'll be competing for the lion's share of $2 million and the chance to be crowned world champion of Free Fire. Now, we are going to see today who is going to have the most booyahs and who is going to leave the battleground victorious. Stay tuned for all the action.
அது கொஞ்சம் போண்டா கொஞ்சம் ஊத்திட்டு
remember exactly what, because it's so much. You know, there's so much that my eyes can't even like know if it's 90, 140, 120, because that's just so clear. Everything is just like it's like real life.
Yeah. I mean, it's a great one there, and we're lucky to have them as a sponsor here, and then we're going into grand finals. We're going to crown a winner for $2 million in terms of the prize pool, and there's going to be 12 teams going at it, and I'm looking forward to this tournament. What are your thoughts on at least the seeded teams here?
Well, we have a lot of promising teams after all. Let us just run through and run down who are the ones that will be playing tonight. Starting off, we are going to be looking at Fluxo, Team Ace, GigFam, Burst the Sky, Evo's Divine, Silence, Phoenix Force, VIP Esports, Goddess, First Raiders, Loud, and finally HQ Esports.
Yeah, and those bottom three First Raiders, Loud, HQ Esports, they had to earn their way to get in here. They're getting top three of the play-ins, and now they're going to be facing an even bigger task of facing the final seeded teams. And I feel like this is like an end boss, raid boss.
It is.
Every team is loaded. This is going to be a crazy tournament.
This is gonna be tough for all of them. They have went through the tough play-ins whereby they have to fight all of the other players within the play-ins, all 6 teams, and they came up right on top, and they have to now fight the big bosses of the FFWS 2021. And just looking at their logos, man oh man, are they all intimidating.
Yeah, they're all intimidating except for the Loud one. I think it looks more like a play sign more than anything else. But here is the prize pool. This is what we're talking about. First place is going to bring home $500,000. Second place, $250,000, and so forth. But you definitely want to be in the top 2 because you're making the money here. But you're not going to go home empty-handed. We're going to send you a parting gift of at least $60,000, seeing as that you made it to the finals today.
Can you imagine? First place, $500,000, and USD at that. That is a lot. And all in all, in order to get yourself striving all the way up top to be the first place, you, well, have got to get yourself in the first place in match individually. Because once you get yourself first place in each matches, you are going to be going back with a total of 12 points for being first place, 9 points from second, and followed by 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and 0. Do note that if you're ranked 11 and 12, you would not get any placement points.
And tiebreaker rules, very important in Free Fire. We just saw, at least in the LBFF, that's the Brazilian league, we saw Fluxor and Loud, they actually ended up tying, and it came down to the number of booyahs, and so that's what, you know, that was the tiebreaker for them, and Fluxor was number 1 because of that, and they're in because of that.
Well, and now, of course, how the maps are going to be played. Match number 1 is going to be on to Bermuda. Match number 2 on to Kalahari. Match number 3 on to Purgatory. And finally, the cycle continues. At match 4 to match 6, we'll be looking at Bermuda, Kalahari, and Purgatory once again.
Yeah, and so all of those maps have stayed the same in terms of the size, of course, right? But from the play-ins where we had 9 teams, and now we've got 12 teams, teams really need to adjust because there's not going to be as much real estate. They're going to have to fight probably in terms of the size, of course, right? But from the play-ins,
here's where things start to get a little bit different, right? Because the league stage, play-in stage, and playoff stage, they are all extremely different. At least for the league stages, you have time to kind of just wander around, kind of understand how the opponents play. But when it comes to the play, especially for the day before yesterday, we have only 9 teams. Yeah. So you can pretty much be sure that 2 teams that will clash together.
which are those teams?
I have no idea. Loud is definitely not going to be one of them.
Okay, well,
maybe.
That said, let's talk about unexpected teams. Like in terms of at least this grand finals, who was an unexpected team, at least in your perspective?
HQ Esports.
Okay.
Okay, that is definitely coming out of absolutely nowhere, because starting from match number 1 is the time where we kind of take a look at all the teams and like, this is promising, this is promising, this is promising. Like DEA, we had our eyes out for DEA, but in the end, they just got completely flushed out by HQ Esports, despite the 7th place that they got themselves in match number 1, and then they just slowly getting themselves to climb every single game, and match 2, 3, and 4, 4th place, like they came out from absolutely nowhere.
Yeah, and okay, to DEA's credit, okay, let's just do the quick point system, right? First Raiders had 79, they were clear favorites. Loud had 75, those are top 2. Let's put those aside, right? The next 3 were in contention at that last match, right? Which is going to be HQ Esports, DEA, and Singularity. HQ Esports and DEA actually had 58 points apiece. It came down to the tiebreakers on the kills, and that's why you see HQ Esports and DEA going home.
HQ Esports, well, they have been marking every single one of the opponents in the last match, match number 6. They killed people. They went all around. They went downtown, man. And that is the reason why they are out there, prepared and ready to rock and roll.
Okay, well, let's talk about tournament winner. What is your in terms of prediction, right? Obviously, we don't know who's going to win.
Don't know, yes.
But who do you like going in?
Well, I'm just going to say this.
ஐயோ கட்டாய் போச்சு பாவி டேய் நெட் என்னடா கட்டாய் போச்சு டேய் நான் எதுவும் பண்ணலடா
எல்லாத்துக்கும் இன்கம் சொல்றியா டைட்டன் லிங்க்
டேய் காக்கூஸ் கார்த்தி டேய் கல்பனியா கார்த்தி
யோ அவ்வளவு பேர்ல சொல்றேன் இவங்க யாரு அவங்க
எனக்கு சொந்தக்காரங்க தான் எல்லாரும்
இந்த ஃப்ரீ ஃபயர் உருவாக்குனாங்களா அது இவங்களா ஐ வாண்ட் டு run.
Russia teams, Zamaro is definitely all one.
யார்டா அவன்
யார் அது ராசே கண்ணு தெரிய மாட்டேங்குங்க அது வேற இல்லை கண்ணு தெரிய மாட்டேங்குது
என்ன கார்த்தி
அவர் தான் அதான்
சுற்றிக்கிட்டே இருக்கா வர மாட்டேங்குதுடா
இங்கே குடியா நான் என் கைக்கு வந்துச்சுன்னா நடக்குது ஏய் இவன்ட்ட ஒய்ஃபை என்ன ஆன் பண்ணி தெரியா வேஸ்ட் பண்ணாதானே போயிட்டு
என்ன தெரியுது டேய் வெளியே வந்துட்டுடா
ஐயோ ஏன் அப்படி பண்ற சி டேய் நான் கழுத்து நிச்சு கொண்டுறேன்டா பார்க்க மாட்டேன் எடுத்து பார்க்க மாட்டேன் ஓச்சரியே உங்க அப்பா இங்க குச்சி எடுத்துட்டு வராரு அங்க பாருங்க யாருண்ணே அங்க பாருங்க யாருண்ணே
ஏய் எவ்வளவு பார்க்க மாட்டான்டா டியூடி காப்பாடா நம்ம விட்டு தான்
Gue mau ceritain tim EVOS Esports.
இதெல்லாம் கேட்கணும்னு நம்ம தலையெழுத்து என்ன பண்றது ஃப்ளோவால் காண்டி இதெல்லாம் பண்ணி தான்
Sport ke Singapura ini punya semangat tinggi untuk menjuarai Free Fire World Series 2021.
என்ன சொல்ல மாட்டேன்
பார்த்துட்டே தான் இருக்கீங்களா யாரா பண்ணிட்டு இருக்காங்க
สวัสดีครับผมแรมโบ้เป็นกัปตันทีมฟินิกซ์ฟอร์ดครับผม
குடிக்கிறான்டா பார்த்து
Hai, saya Aziz, wakil untuk pasukan Geek Fam. Kami menjuarai MCP Season 1 dan layak untuk mewakili Malaysia dalam Free Fire World Series Final.
Hola, soy Narucho, representante de Team Ace, campeón de Latinoamérica y próximo campeón mundial.
நல்லா கிண்டர் பார்க்குறாங்க
ஏய் நிஸ்பே சொல்லிடுவான்
Eram pessoas que me assistiam, meus fãs e tudo mais, e hoje tá brilhando junto comigo.
مثل ما تعرفون نحن ممثلين السيرفر العربي.
Bom, o que eu tenho a dizer sobre a Loud é que todos nós formamos uma família muito boa.
Mình là HQ Văn Kỳ Em, đội trưởng của team HQ Sport và là đại diện của Việt Nam tại giải đấu FF WS 2021. Halo, namaku Ever Darkol. Aku kapten dari tim First Raider, perwakilan dari Indonesia.
நம்ம யூடியூப் சேனல்ல யாரும் நோக்க மாட்டாங்க சட்டாதடா
We have heard from the teams, we have heard of the players. You guys have also heard of my favorite team, or rather the team that I predicted to go up on top. But we have yet to hear from you.
Well, I'm kind of, until the Brazilians team loses a World Series, I mean, they were Corinthians 2019, they won that World Series, right? And then while there's only technically, like Nobru, who was part of that team, you're going to have to know his name because he's on the new team now with Flexo, which is #1 team in Brasilia, right? And so, Nobru is a guy who's made, what, $67,000 in terms of prize money, right? In Free Fire, right?
Yep.
That's more than 7 different teams total earnings, okay? Not combined, of course, but each of the individual teams, right? So he's made it quite a bunch of bank, right? So he's just a massive player, somebody you need to respect. But before I do that and go talk more about that, because we will be hearing his name more, let's go into game 1.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we are in, of course. This is going to one in Bermuda, the Verifier World Series Singapore 2021. Looking at the playing path and looking at everything else, it does seem like we do have a lot of players. It's just going to be jumping right in the center of Bermuda, and this is going to be pretty darn scary as First Raiders jumped right on top of Geek Fam right in the Bimasari Strip.
Yeah, it's a good start for them. I mean, we're going to see Loud in their traditional spot in the northwest spot. It seems like every single time they're going to do this. But as I say that, it looks like Geek Fam and First Raiders, they're going at it already.
And of course, it does seem like the Samurai Sword has made its way into the guts of Geek Fam's Zack. With one of their members down, this is going to be left with Hazik, Appease, and Shoyu to make their way right out of the Bimasati Strip. Our First Raiders that came all the way in from the plains, they got themselves the first blood, and of course that is eliminating one of their core rivals, Geek Fam from Malaysia.
Oh, that's a massive one, especially in the first minute of the game. This is like going in.
நீ இப்போ எடுக்க மாட்டியா
நின்று வச்சுடா
எடுக்கிறதாண்டா
நின்று வச்சு
நைட்டு பாப்பியா
டவரில்
எங்காத்தி நைட்டா
To a fight and you losing like your left arm kind of thing. Now you're kind of have to deal with what you can do.
ஆன் பண்ணி இது நம்ம லைவ்டா என் கைக்கு வந்தா டவர் கிடைக்கும்
Not a great situation, so this pretty much means for Geek Fam that they need to play super defensive, make sure they don't take any unnecessary fights, because they can look to third party at a later time.
I don't think that most of them have too much weapons on them. They shouldn't have too much weapons, ammo, or any kinds of utility. So they have to watch out. Whatever that they're doing, they need to run.
செல்ல அப்படி பின்னாடி திருப்பியா அதான் கரெக்டாக இருக்கும் சாமி சொன்னா கரெக்டாக இருக்கும்பா
Battle, back, as well as Joker. How is things supposed to be working out for now? Appease all alone as Hazik and Shoyu is also knocked down. 1v2 though, and Geek Fam has been eliminated right off the bat before the first circle has even emerged.
This is the biggest difference between the play-ins and the grand finals. Play-ins, you only had 9 teams. It was very spread out. You definitely had some room to maneuver around. In this one, with 12 teams, there's really no room to move. It's either you have to run away, you try to pick up a utility else. But then you're conceding ground. Geek Fam was at a huge disadvantage to start off, and then the entire team was wiped out.
All eyes in the southern side of the island here in on Sentosa. So in the very moment the VIP Esports circle is way down to the southern side of the island, we do observe quite a bit of teams that's actually in the northern side. So we're looking at HQU Esports, we're looking at Loud, Evolve Divine. We also have one member coming in from BDS. The way that
டேய் லோகோ இல்லடா வசரத்து
moving is most likely they're going to be moving down south right into Bimasati Strip.
டேய் ஏன்டா ஃபுல்லா விட எனக்கு